What's going on, YouTube? Getting ready to make another flag. Saw it on Instagram or TikTok. Got me a wavy flag, kind of like the ones that I made, except he had the Punisher skull right in the middle of it, kind of ghosted in, so to speak. It's raised up a little bit more. So I got to think about it. Talk to him. Said he hand carves them. I'm gonna tag a photo of it. Also gonna reach out to him, let him know I'm making a YouTube video about it. But figure, what the heck? Let's grab the couple of blanks that I've gotten glued up that are just sitting here. Cut one down. Let's get it thrown on the CNC, and we'll go in. We'll create one. We'll get it cutting. So I'm gonna just. I got this one right here, just 1.25 inches thick. I'll cut it down to size. Figure out what size I need when I go in and draw it up. But we'll jump over to the computer, show you how I design it, how I make it, and then we'll get back out here in the shop and we'll start rock and rolling with it. All right, so we're gonna get started here. That piece of wood out there, I'm gonna cut it down 32 inches. Don't know if you guys will be able to see my pop-up screen, but the width of this is 32 by 20. 1.25 inches thick, so it's 1.25. So I don't know if my screen capture is capturing where I'm pulling these files from, but I'm just opening up my downloads. So before I put the wave into it, I bring in all my components. So I'll bring in the Punisher, and then I'll bring in the flag. And the flag I get from Full Steam Designs. Chris Balley's got a bunch of different ones. So what I'll do is I'll take the flag right now, and I'm going to resize it. I'm going to make it 30 inches wide. I'm going to let it apply. I'm going to keep the scale factor at 1, so that way it makes it equal. So then I'm just going to center it up, and then I'm going to bring it up a little bit. So we'll go with something of that nature. So then we'll recenter it, and then we're going to take this guy, and we're going to size him up. Something of that nature. Done. And then I'm going to center him. No. We're going to bring it back down. We're going to do something of that nature. So now that that's all complete, these are the two components. So now we'll go over to model, and we'll bring in this wavy flag. So the base height, I'll make it 1/4 inch. And the top height, I'll make 0.7. We'll apply it. Oops. 0.70. We'll apply it. We'll see how it looks. Takes a second for this to generate. So I'm going to be cutting here, so I want this part of the wave down farther. So on my scale, I'm going to bring it to 1. It is 1.10. So yeah, we'll go with something like that. So I'm going to hit done, and then I'm going to go back to design. I'm going to take the flag, I'm going to move it up, and then I'm going to recenter it. And then I'm going to take the Punisher and move him up. Kind of want the Punisher coming down into the first stripe and then the last stripe. So I might take him a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna go that. I'm gonna go that size. So I'll hit done. So now, with that being done, we need to create a block to go around this. So I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Now the biggest thing I've found is that to make this turn out right, you've got to have a box on the outside. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on this and I'm going to ungroup it. So that way I can just select this. I'm going to do the offset tool. I'm going to go 0.1. And I'm going to apply it to the outside. So that now it takes that like that. So then if I come to this, I'll ungroup it. But then I need to capture all of the stripes. I don't take the stars because it'll eliminate the stars. So I forgot to group it. So then you'll group it, and then if you highlight the outline and then the stripes, and then you use the bouillon, sorry, you gotta click this. You gotta click the stripes first, then click the outline. So then if I click on this, so when I was done with that, it eliminates all the stripes on the inside. So if I then click off of it, if you zoom in, the outline's still there, but it's touching. So if you take the outline and get rid of it, it creates that border. So what I'm looking for is pieces like this piece here. That's not going to cut. That piece isn't. That piece isn't. So that looks like everything. So now what you need to do is you need to go back through and re-grab all these and group them. So now they're all grouped. So then the trick is to highlight just the stars, and then I'm going to group those into my stripes. So now that's done like that. So now this is all highlighted. The box is out, or all by itself. Now I need to group the Punisher skull. So we'll group that. So now I've got all three components. So now if I go over to the model in Pro, when I hit Show 3D, there's my waves. Don't pay attention to this little hole. It doesn't cut all the way through. So then if I click on this and hit Add Shape, we bump it up to 0.1, and I change this to flat. So we apply it. So now we wait for it to do this thing. So see, now it's setting a different height of everything. So that's kind of my outline, so that way when it's done I can cut it out. So then we're going to click this. Oops. We're going to hit done. So then we're going to click on the stars and stripes. We're going to go back up here to add shape. Again, we're going to go flat. And we're going to bump that to 0.2. So we'll apply that. You never want to hit done until it renders, because then you can come back and you can check. Like that's too tall. So we're going to come back and we're going to do 0.1. Hit apply. Alright. So that's the stars and stripes. So then we're going to hit The minute you hit done, it locks this in. So that's what it's going to be. So now I'm going to click on the Punisher skull, and we're going to hit add. We're going to do flat, and I'm going to do 0.2 because it's coming off of the base material, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second once this loads. So it's rendered. So when I say base, it's coming, let me see if I can, so this is the base height. So that wave, it's, when I set the 0.25, that's what this is. Then that outline, I raised it up, I think it was 0.2 or 0.1. That's this line. And then when I did the stars and stripes, I did a 0.1, which is raised at 0.1 off of the base. Or off of the, off the base. And that's recessed in, so I'm going to bump that up to 0.3. So I want it a little bit predominant. So now that it's done, so now it's added at 0.3 from the base up. So this is 0.3 high, this is 0.2, and this is 0.1. So that's one way to do it. So if I hit done, that's the finished product. So if I delete these, I'm deleting what I just put in. So we'll go through and we'll get rid of all these, and I'll show you a different way of doing it. There's two ways to do it. So once this is done, so if I click this outline and hit add shape, instead of adding it to the base height, if I add the height, so if I do 0.1 and apply, it's going to make it 0.1 of an inch above. But I didn't select flat, so I gotta hit flat. So that gives you the 0.1 off the base, just like we had before, because it's the same number. So we're gonna keep that. So we'll hit done. Then we're gonna select the stars and the stripes, and we're gonna go up to add shape, switch it to flat, and this one we're gonna change it to 0.2. We're going to hit apply. And all these merge types are all adding. And you can actually name these if you want to, if you're doing multiple cuts. Which I've got a bit setter, so I'm going to run mine all at the same time. So now that's made it 0.2 off of the height. So it's giving you the same option. There's just two ways of going about it. So now that that's done, I'm going to click on the Punisher skull. We're going to hit add shape. I'm going to click on the flat, and I'm going to do 0.2 on this. And I'll hit apply. And once that's done, actually I'm going to bump that up. I want to have that just a touch higher. So we'll go 0.3. So now it's raised up a little bit. So if I can zoom in, so you can see that if I sand this down, this will stick up a little bit. So that's how you can do that. It's two different ways of doing it. You can do it by base height. When you change the base height, you're just changing the base height of whatever you've got selected. If you change it by the height, you're just changing the height. So everything will come off of this base layer right here. Like this was 0.1, so this outline square is 0.1 higher than this. This here is 0.2 inches higher than this out here. And then the skull, the Punisher skull, is 0.3. So both give you the same effect, but it's done two different ways. So we're going to hit done on that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Toolpaths. And I'm going to click on the outside box first. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe I've got to, I'm going to go 1/4 inch end mill. I think I need to collect all of them together. I'm not 100% sure yet. I gotta mess with it a little bit. So I'm gonna bump the feed rate up to 100. And we're gonna hit OK. And this is gonna calculate the rough tooling path. And then I can say show simulation. And this takes a second. I'll save. And we're gonna lose tool path. No. So that's pretty much what you're getting with your first pass. Well, with your only pass. So then, with that still selected, I still got just the outside box. You don't need to collect anything inside. It's just the outside piece. If you hit 3D finish, now I've got to go with an 1/8 inch ball mill. I wish I had a 16th, but I don't have one yet. I don't think this is gonna give me the best finish. And I'm gonna run this at 100. I may regret that. I'm not 100% sure. And then we'll hit OK. So let it calculate. And we're gonna hit show the simulation. So there's the simulation. You see a lot of graining. I'm hoping that doesn't show up. But we'll save this and we'll get it out to the shop and we'll get things rolling. Alright, so we got it all designed in the house. I think it's like 29, if I remember right. It's 29 by like 16 or 17 inches. This is like 4 foot long, so I'm going to trim this up to 36 inches or so. That way I can just secure it in all 4 corners. And then we're going to slap down to the CNC, get everything loaded up, and we'll get ready to rock and roll. Alright, so we got the piece cut down. Fits on the machine. We got the 1/4 inch end mill in there. And because of this right here, there's quite a difference. It's gonna be a wavy flag, so it's I don't care if they're flush or not. It should clear them, no problems at all. But what you're gonna see me do that I don't normally do, I'm gonna set my 0, but then I'm gonna check my 0 in a couple of other spots, and I'll explain as I'm doing it. But for right now, we're gonna get this bit set, and then moved out of the way so that way I can secure the flag or the wood, and then we'll get my zero spots set. So here we go. So I've got my 0 set for this board right here. So looking. So what I'm going to do now is, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. It's 0.436. I've raised the bit up. So now I'm going to run it. One, I'm going to watch my 2 axes because I know the flag is 30 inches roughly. So I want to make sure that it'll go all the way to the other end. So I just hit the limit switch, I'm clearing my hole, so I should be good. Flag is 30 inches. I went 32 and almost a half inch. So now that it's over on that end, I'm going to lower my x-axis down, or my z-axis down until it hits 0. But I'm also watching as I'm lowering it. So I was at 0.86 or 0.086, and I'm still up a little bit off the surface. So I just made contact, and I'm in the negative. So that's telling me that if I'm not mistaken, that's telling me that I should be good. So that's pretty much 0. And as you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see, I'm just a touch above. So I'm happy with that. So now that I've set 0, I'm going to raise up my z-axis. And then I'm going to go over to run. And I'm going to load this file. Now, when I designed this, I said it was going to take, I think it was 9.5 hours. So we'll see if it holds true. Plus I'm cutting at 100 millimeters an inch, or 100 inches per minute. I should be able to bump that up some. And I know it's a big code, but when it takes that long to load. So we'll get this set up. I'm going to set you guys up on the tripod. Probably record the first part of it. So yeah, it's going to take 9 hours and 20 minutes. So I'll see how the cutting's going. Once I think I'm below the surface and it's flat all the way, I'll pick up the pace on it. So I'm going to get you guys set up, start recording. I'll let you guys see it as it starts to take off. Once it gets rolling, I'll probably stop filming. I don't really need to waste 9 hours of battery life. But when it gets down to a certain point and when I go over to the 1/8 inch ball nose bit, I'll start recording again so you guys can start seeing it. So we'll get you guys set up and we'll get this thing going. Alright, so after roughly about 6.5 hours, roughly, of 1/4 inch end mill, this is what I got. And I'm really hoping that corner right there is extremely thin, but now it's the 1/8 inch ball nose, and according to this, I've got 29 minutes of cutting, so I'm thinking I should be safe. I set the base height at 1/4 inch, and I probably should have bumped it up to like 0.4. So I'll get you guys on the tripod. Probably won't put the dust boot on. I'll just let it free run, and let you guys get some video of that. Alright, so it's all done. And so that's what it looks like. So a couple things I learned on this one is this has been the first one I've done this thick. One, I set my base height, as you saw in the on the computer. I set the base to 1/4 inch. Probably should have went 0.4, not 100% sure. And then the other thing is, next time I do it, I'll probably leave the stars out because not real big on how they turned out. If I would have deleted the stars, I could have had that area flat. Could have printed off a stencil, airbrushed in the stars, would have been good to go. So it's 9 o'clock at night. So I'm gonna leave this sitting here tonight. We'll come back out tomorrow after I get home from work. And it's the tedious job of sanding. So I'll get it all sanded up. All right, what's going on, YouTube? Back for day 2. Just got home from work. Grabbed a cup of coffee real quick. And now we're gonna get this taken out of the off the CNC machine. I'm gonna clean up my mess over there. That big thing is another video coming down the pipeline. I gotta finish that up. So we're gonna get that brought over onto the bench here after we get it cleaned up. We're gonna get the heat going, get the tunes going, get you guys on the tripod looking down. I'm gonna start doing all the sanding on it. One of the guys that's in one of the Facebook forums, I'll try to mention his name. I'll ask him if it's all right, but I'm pretty sure he'll be good with it. I've been doing woodworking my whole entire life. I started doing it when I was 12, 13 years old. Worked with my grandfather, worked with my dad, built tons of houses. You name it, I can just about do it. Posted a quick video of this to the forums, and somebody told me to use a sanding mop. I'd never heard of them. Something new. So I googled it real quick, YouTubed it. You can make your own, but all I've got is just a round disc for my orbital. So swung by Klingspor, swung by Woodcraft. Nobody had any, so unfortunately this one's going to sand the old-fashioned way, but I'm going to order some of those tonight. They're on Amazon for like 20 bucks. In different grits. You can get 120 all the way up to, I think I saw 500, I'm not sure. So whoever told me that, if you're watching this video, I appreciate you pointing that out to me. But now I'm gonna get you guys set up and we'll get things going. All right, real quick, I took it off the CNC. Extremely lighter than what it was when I put it on there. But I had made mention of my base height. You start everything off with your base height. In other words, if you go 1/4 inch, at your lowest point, that's going to be 1/4 inch. The rest of it will be built off of that. This was 1.25 inches thick, and I probably should have went like a 0.4 for a base instead of 0.25, because let's see if I can get it to where you can see it. But you can see the daylight through the grain. So don't know if this is going to stay together, but we're going to sand it, and then the last thing I'll do is I'll cut it free, and hopefully it stays together. If not, we'll end up, I'll put a plywood backer behind it just to glue it to it, put a frame around it. I'm going to get a piece of plywood up behind me and start hanging my stuff up behind me. Because a lot of these things I don't sell unless somebody requests something that I make. So get you guys over there in the tripod, get the music on, and get ready for a sanding montage. All right, so overlooking this, while I was sanding, I'm probably not gonna go full gung-ho on finishing this because there's a lot of imperfections. You can see here, I think I was running the machine too fast, didn't have the right size bit, but there's jagged edges, these large cracks, and then the biggest thing, I'll see if I can get it to hold up the light. Zoom in on it. The eye is pretty much all the way through the board. So I'm gonna put some stain to it just to see what the look is. This was the first one of these to do this style. Probably could have done things a little bit different. I think if I would have ran a 16th inch bit instead of the 1/8 inch, I probably wouldn't have had as much step up on that. But I'll get you guys put over in the stand, and we'll get things taped off, and we'll put some stain to it to see what it looks like. Alright, so you guys get the gist. It's probably gonna be enough time lapse for to get that, but I'll finish running down through this, get the stain on and off camera. Do I'm gonna torch it actually too. Might as well see what it looks like while it's torched, since it's already probably not going to go anywhere. So I'll bring you guys back after I get the last of the stripes done and then the torching done, and then we'll discuss the issues I had, things I'll change. So I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Alright, so now it's all torched and whatnot. That's kind of the look I was going for. So like I said, probably won't put this one up for sale. I mean, from a distance it looks good, but when you get up close onto it, I don't like putting stuff out like that. But I'm gonna leave the video up there just because I'm gonna let you guys see that I make mistakes too. So this one will probably get cut out, put a frame around it, put it on the wall. One of my mistakes. We all make them. You don't learn unless you push the limits. So the ones that I'd done before, they were smaller, and they were just like logos, like UNC logo and stuff like that. I hadn't done one with this big of a kind of a ghost effect in it. So we'll see. I'll probably try another one. But I'll put this video up. I'm gonna probably make another one and I'll post that to my Instagram account, my TikTok account, my Facebook page and everything, just so if you guys will follow me on all those. I'll leave a link down in the description where you guys can find me. So if you want to see what another one looks like once it's all said and done, that's up to you guys. Gotta thank y'all. In 45 days I've gained 300 subscribers. Never in the world would I have thought that. Hoping for 1,000 by the end of the year. We'll see what we can do. I'm gonna just keep on trying to put up videos as often as quick as I can. Like I said, that guy probably be a couple videos down the line. That's gonna be a pedestal stand for my wife's washer and dryer with an automatic soap dispenser. So stay tuned for it. Be something different. But until next video, appreciate it guys. Thanks for subscribing. All you guys that haven't subscribed, hit the little red button. Helps me out. Lets me know if I'm doing good with content. Gives me ideas for new things. So until the next video, appreciate it.